Hi again. I, Daniel Blake, should have been called I, Ken Loach, as Daniel Blake surely must be a Loach alter ego. No working class person, unless they were a devout Corbynista, would bother paying to see it, particularly if they were on the rock and roll or had spent any time queuing at the food bank. At least the impoverished protagonists in the movie had nice gaffs. The equivalent in London would be sleeping 4 to a room or on the pavement. Still, the film is realistic in what it depicts. Certainly, I was in the same situation myself this year. It's a bit like being sucked into a Kafkaesque vortex. The film is designed to get the liberal middle classes sobbing their hearts out. I could hear the sound of plastic wrapping popping all over the cinema, delivering the tissues, and I kid you not. I could have wept myself, but for different reasons. I don't like seeing my class depicted as totally helpless victims. I like to see resistance. Don't like being patronised. If any working class people view this movie, chances are they would have probably been on a freebie or just signed up for Momentum. The film was a cross between a sentimental Victorian melodrama and the torments of Christian in Pilgrim's Progress, and unlike the latter, there is no redemption. I can imagine the middle class slipping guiltily shocked under their duvets after seeing Daniel Blake. A couple of days later, he'd be forgotten, replaced by angsting over drowning refugees, and 2 days later, oppressed Palestinians. Honestly, give me benefit porn any day. At least benefit porn does, to a degree, portray our attitude and situation, warts and all. To hell with suffering passively, indignity, so-called. Must say, I've never met anyone as gormless and helpless as Daniel Blake. Simply, he's just not realistic. This film is a bleeding-hearted version of Life at the Bottom. We don't like being portrayed in this manner. We like our working class characters to have some gumption, attitude and fight back. Daniel Blake emerges as a sort of white Uncle Tom. The jobs centre Gestapo staff, the robotic office wallers who enforce the benefit torments, as illustrated in the film, quite realistically, are they part of the working class? Certainly according to the left, who regard the police as workers in blue. As far as I'm concerned, they are as vile as the masters they serve. I well understand the predicament of Daniel Blake. Found myself mired in it myself, right down to computer illiteracy, would you believe? And yet, I didn't really empathise with the geezer. He didn't have an edge, unlike most of those I know who have been in a far worse situation. He, Daniel Blake, proclaims he is not a scrounger. No, he's a mug, because he dies ultimately believing in the justice of the system. There is no justice in this system. In an unsettling part of the film, Daniel Blake discovers his young female friend has gone onto the game to provide for her kids. Daniel Blake, Mr. Nice Guy, tries to dissuade her in a highly distasteful, moralistic, exceptionally creepy matter, I think. So many people turn up for St. Daniel Blake's funeral at the tear-jerking finale. I couldn't help thinking, if he had so many friends, surely they would have aided and supported him in tackling the inhuman machine. It does happen in reality, you know. Daniel Blake is the perfect, caring, non-threatening prole the middle classes love. He lives an exemplary life in a spotless home. No betting slips, bottles of booze, fag ends or wraps of puff litter his gaff. If Ken Loach emerges from retirement together, as I say, what's the point? In my eyes, at the very least, Daniel Blake could have gone down in a shocking blaze of glory, maybe purchasing, with the money he gets from hawking his furniture, a deadly weapon in a backstreet bar and blasting away at his oppressors at the job centre. Far-fetched? Too 21st century? Certainly would have alienated the Corbynistas, but it would have had the feisty proles applauding. Listen, if you want to see a far more gutsy, realistic film about the working class who exist at the near bottom of society, with plenty of sly humour, raw dialogue and authentic backdrops, Check out Greg Hall's 210 film s.s.d.d. Same shit, different day. Sorry, Ken. You should have given us something more empowering, uplifting in its resistance, revolutionary even in its intention. Something with some bite back. People do fight back, and people you least expect to. Unlike poor old Daniel Blake. Bye.